Good evening, friends. Good evening, friends from the fraternity. Hope all of us are staying safe and healthy. And slowly but surely, we are coming back to new ways of working, new ways of living as our unlocked down unfolds in phases. I think the last 10 weeks or so have been the most challenging times to us in many forms, as individuals and families to begin with, then into professionals, employees, employers, and finally society at large. But at the same time, these times have also been the very exciting times for many reasons to many of us. I guess we have discovered facets of our life that we were actually left undiscovered. Cooking, baking, singing, reading, writing, making videos, having long pending face to face call with school friends, college buddies, all of this. Did you realize that all of these have happened largely from and at this beautiful place called home? And we, the stakeholders of this amazing category, can feel proud that we have been part of many homes in many ways over the years. And I'm sure we're all getting geared up for new demand and new changes in the coming times. On that note, let me welcome you all to the finale webinar of the Home and Home Plus Conclave. The Home and Home Plus Digital Conclave has had 3 insightful and inspiring sessions attended by over 1,000 people from the community. Each session addressed relevant and specific areas of current interest, from understanding consumer sentiments to consumer demand. What will generate demand? How do we engage with our customers in their changed behavior? How do we innovate from products to processes? What are the technologies that need to be adopted? How can we mix soft furnishings with the hard goods? Which categories will be early movers? What kind of marketing tools will work? And finally, how soon can we expect to recover and reach healthy levels of business? As they say, the new normal is about looking at 3 months at a time. Well, we had some of the finest industry captains with us over these 3 webinars to share their views and perspectives on all of the above. And in case you have missed any of these, video recordings and speed read synopsis are available on the Home and Home Plus Conclave website as far as the the Creativity YouTube channel. Today is a special day, the finale webinar with something extra special. Yes, we're going to be unveiling a curated compilation of articles in the form of an ebook titled hashtag Future of Homes. And all the people you must be probably seeing in the grid view now are those industry captains to whom I am extremely thankful from the bottom of my heart. Many of them have participated in our previous sessions, and we also have our guests for the first time. I extend a very warm welcome to each one of you industry captains to this memorable session. My special welcome to all of you who have already been here with us, and a very special welcome to all of those who are joining us for the first time. In order to save time, I'm not going to probably get into introductions, but all introductions are available, all profiles are available in the ebook, which will be uploaded during the course of this webinar. However, let me take a few minutes to introduce our new guests. Ashish Shah from Pepperfry. Welcome, Ashish. Govind Srikande. Welcome, sir. We all know him as the ex-managing director of Shoppers Stop and a pioneer in Indian retail. Dr. Gibson Vedmani, the founder of retailvarsity.com and again, the founding CEO of the Retail Association of India. We have Mona Menon Sharma from Marshalls, again, a household name. We have Mr. Nitin Bal from Brandstack, who's brought in brands such as Natuzzi and Santa Lucia and Scavolini, the best of Europe to India. Mr. Pratap Jadhav, former national president, Triple ID, 5-year term and recognized as one among the 100 best designers of India. We have Mr. Sameer Patel, again a very common name in Indian manufacturing and modular furniture circles. Welcome, Sameer Bhai. And we have Tanay Agarwal as well, who's joined us. He, of course, is the managing director of Skipper Furnishings, again a name that we all know. Of course, we have all people from our previous webinars joining us. We have everybody. Mr. C.K. Nair is here. Mr. Anil Mathur is here. Mr. Karan Jetwani is here. Oh my God. So who else do we have? I think uh, anyone that I'm missing out, guys? I don't think. I hope I've not missed out anybody as yet. Of course, Mr. Rajesh Mahajan is also here. So everybody is here, and thank you so much for coming in here. So without further fuss, I'm going to request my team to actually formally unveil the book titled hashtag Future of Homes. Bhavesh, you could pull up the presentation as we go.
Yeah, I'm doing that.
Yeah. So the genesis of this book, I owe it to the multiple webinars that we hosted and moderated, as well as the webinars that we ended up attending. And one thing that came up was that so much of wisdom is out there, but can we actually give form and shape to it in the form of a collection of thoughts, a collection of ideas, and a collection of actionable insights, which we can then give back to the community. And our community is something that requires a lot more of industry wisdom coming in a continuous and organized manner. With that in mind is what the thought of bringing out an ebook originated. And from there, immediately I reached out to all those wonderful panelists whom you see here, all those contributing authors, and each one of them has been spontaneous in coming to us and saying, yes, we'll be more than happy to share our wisdom with you. We'll be more than happy to share our real life experiences with you and practical insights with you. And basis that, we actually went into getting this book compiled. And I'm happy to say that this entire effort was completed in a record time of less than a month. And putting it together and paginating it and then getting it into the shape that you will see by the end of this webinar has all been done within a month. And my sincere thanks to every single author, contributing author. I call them pioneer contributors. Thank you so much for giving that. So Bhavesh, if you could put up the presentation now, that would help. Can people see it now?
Yeah.
Perfect. Thank you so much, and thanks for the patience. I think we faced a technical glitch there. So I'm just going on to slideshow mode. So as it gets into slideshow mode, so if you see what we are talking about, we are talking of BC versus AD. And what we are trying to talk about here is not the BC and AD that we all know. And we're actually talking of the before Corona and after dealing with it. I'm not talking of it as after Corona, but because we are learning to deal with Corona and we are trying to actually find out ways and means of working with it and going beyond it. So is consumer behavior going to be in change mode is the larger question. And the future of homes is what the book is all about. So of course, here as I talked to you about a sneak peek, I'm sure that this is dedicated to every single one of you out there, all the contributors out there who are involved in the art, science, and heart of making homes beautiful and wonderful. My warm thanks to every single contributor. You see the grid of all the contributors here, as well as we are seeing them live. Of course, they represent multiple facets of our category called home, from manufacturing, retailing, marketing, innovation, brand owners, industry advisors, and probably I could say all of the above. Right? So we have all of them giving their insights in the form of short or long articles. Some of them are about a page and a half, and some of them are about 2.5 pages. But believe me, as I went through that over and over again, every single article has got tremendous insights available. And we're going to be taking that in the form of extracts as we go along. Here you see the kind of topics that have been dealt here. You see 20 different articles, and you see the kind of the variety and diversity of topics that are there. You have right at the beginning, Mr. Mathur from Godrej talking about life continues, but the destination has changed. Look at the topic itself, the title of the topic, or for that matter, Ankur. I haven't seen Ankur today, but what immunity will be to food retail. He talked of thoughtful living will be to home and living. He's given a very interesting analogy between food retail and home and home living. And of course, Mr. Ashish Shah has talked about life in the times of coronavirus. And as you can go through all of them, I'm probably not going to go line by line. But Mr. Govind Srikanth has talked about the big picture home, and I'm going to ask him a question on that for sure. I'm very interested in looking at even things like prepare or perish, something that Mr. Mahesh Shah has talked about. Or for the matter, what Samir West talked, the future lies in modular. He says that. And like what Tanay says, looking for the silver lining on a dark cloud. I'm going to again ask him. Mr. Pratap Jadhav has talked about pause, reboot, and reset. Nitin has talked about luxury home retail in the post-COVID era. And of course, from IKEA, our good friend Kavita talked about empower to innovate and adapt. Karan had talked about reset, recover, and rediscover. Kirit had talked about harnessing existing need and then generating new demand. I mean, a completely diverse set of topics. I also added my 2 bits in terms of talking about integrate to differentiate, and I'm sure when you go through that article, you'll get to know a little better. So this is how the topics are: 20 different and diverse topics, and each of them is going to be a nugget of knowledge for all of you out there who are seeing it. So let me now get into the broad themes that we were sort of able to emerge. So the first one, I mean, going in line or aligned to the hashtag future of homes, the topic that the single first theme is about hashtag home at the heart, right? And here we have uh, words drawn from their articles. We have article words from what Mr. Govind Srikande has talked about, or CK has talked about, or what Mr. Majan has talked about, or Azimji has talked about, or what Monaji has talked about. So I'm going to take this opportunity to, because I've been speaking for far too long, I'm going to take this opportunity to ask, to begin with Mr. Srikande and ask him for his views. Sir, why don't you give us some thoughts on what the big picture of home is looking like? And draw from the lines that you see there. Clearly, home will be the place to invest, whatever stage of life you are.
Sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, sure. Please go ahead.
Great to be part of this whole session. Home is all about heart, always has been. And home is a place where you all go. It's like a nest for everyone. It's like peace for everyone. Whatever happens at your workplace, office, whatever you are doing, at the end of the day, you want to be at home, whether you are eating maa ke haath ka banaya hua khana or gajar ka halwa, whatever you are doing. But home is not really about the articles and the people there. Home is about the comfort that it gives you, the protection that it gives you. Now, the whole COVID phenomena has completely changed the concept of home. So we used to definitely have working from home earlier, maybe an hour or two extended, but now you're completely working at home. So this is a complete dynamic change where working from office and extension used to be home. Now you're having extended as well as full work only happening at home. Not a great thing, especially for women, in my opinion, because they not only have to do the normal work, but also have to do the proper office work. Also, if you have kids at home, it's not a very easy thing to do. So it's a tough job actually to have a work from home scenario. Although, yes, most of us have accepted it and moving on. But what's the post-COVID situation going to happen, really speaking? So if work from home is going to be the norm, definitely I believe that investment in home is going to become a prime objective. And why should that happen? Fundamentally, you want to definitely look at it as improving efficiency of work. When you look at in office, similarly, you are going to look at it also at home. That how do I improve my efficiency of work at home? So is there a work table, for example, that you currently have? Because right now, most of us are operating from our dining table, right? And if the dining table has to continue for 12 months, I think the difference in height of the chair and the table is also a challenge for sure. So I'm sure a lot of you must be thinking about how do I get into a proper working table for sure. Yes, there are going to be gadgets that will be invested in because you may require an additional iPad, additional tablet, etc. Maybe if you're looking at Skypes, etc., with a large TV screen as well, because a lot of people are doing multiple people team meetings as well. So apart from the gadgets, I also believe that with so much of your home getting exposed every day, whether on webinar or on meetings, a lot of people are now peeking into your home. If you look at it, the typical Delhi style, you always want to show off home, whereas the typical Mumbai style is your home is hidden from everyone. Now no more homes are hidden. Everyone's home is right at the front. And I'm sure because the home is now exposed, you are going to invest in not only in painting, but also looking at not gadgets alone, but also at artifacts at home, which can make you look wonderful while you're speaking on a webinar. Some kind of photo frame, some kind of things that will also make you comfortable. Those chairs, those sofas that you're not looked at for a long period of time. You would like to change the covers, maybe even change sofas so that you're much more comfortable while you're doing the work. Yes, the painting at home, which you might do every 5 years or 8 years, may come in faster. And those bed linen and towels, which used to get changed every 3 years or 4 years, can also change right now. So I believe it's a good news in one sense that you're starting to look at your home not only as your savior, but also as a place of work. So it will be desirable that there will be investment on home. And I think, I believe that that definitely will become a priority.
Very interesting, sir. Very interesting. In fact, I think when you say invest in home, I think that gives a lot of cheer to all of us because
Yes,
we're all invested in the category in that sense. So
correct,
we would
correct.
obviously want this category to really thrive in the times to come. I'll come back to you in a moment. But
Sure.
before that, I think Robin, I'm going to ask you a question. So you have and you have brought last time around when we spoke, you talked about how Ashley is doing quite a bit of reaching out to customers and making them uh, come to you, not in the physical stores, but you're actually reaching out to them and making business happen, and you've seen tremendous growth. So how would you connect the kind of innovation that you have done to home at heart? How would you connect both of that? Do you think that there is a demand that is there in the customers, I mean there's a pent up demand that you're servicing, or you're creating new demand? What are your views, Robin?
I think is first of all, thank you, Mahesh, for organizing this. Very happy and proud to be here. So I think it's the demand is both. I think whether is it a pent-up demand or people are simply just a bit sad, because some of them are losing their jobs. I think the stores like us, home stores where it offers a wide variety, we must be able to inspire. So the problem now is foot traffic, is going to be down a lot. So what we have discovered during our lockdown is for the past consecutive 3-4 weeks, our numbers actually was the best in our 75 years of history. So, and there, we have done a lot of ways, not just on a remote selling, asking the salesperson to do a one-on-one call, whether is it from their home or is using the laptop to navigate the website or even the product catalog. So coming to post-COVID, I think you're going to see a bit more of their virtual tours, which is predominantly in the property sector. But I do think that today videos and using this technology or innovation to bring that inspiration, to remind everybody that home is where the heart lies and the family values is actually very critical. So I think this is where we are able to do or service that demand from both areas.
Interesting. But Robin, I mean, the reason why I brought you in while Mr. Srikande talked about investing in home is that do you think that the demand in the immediate term is going to rise significantly, or are you only seeing the pent up demand of the past?
Okay. I think demand for us has risen simply because our competition has went down. So across industries, demand will be harder to generate, but over a 12 to 24 months period, I think home is still the right industry. Home is still where everybody now needs to upgrade for the same reasons that the earlier speaker mentioned. More people are spending more time together with one another, be it at dinner time or even looking at certain accessories, wall art. So in that sense, yes, if you are able to ride on this path where your consumer path to purchase is aligned with what they are doing. For example, if you are still posting 4 to 5 minutes video, I think that's outdated. Nobody wants to want to watch such videos because the user interest in our so-called experience, they don't take more than 15 to 30 seconds. So even the website, the visitor or the user will only spend about 3 seconds to 5 seconds if it's a static ad or even a rotating banner. So in that sense, how are you going to harness that demand into your transactions depends largely on, are you differentiating yourself from the competition? And then that will then set your so-called new path to capture that new consumer who are now more internet savvy, who are now all mobile based, and who are now looking for inspirations to be able to have access to a wider assortment of furniture.
Thank you so much, Robin. Thanks. I think again I wanted to reinforce that point that there is demand that needs to be generated, and I just wanted to fortify what Mr. Srikande talked of in terms of investing in home is going to happen, and we as the category stakeholders have an important role to play. CK, that brings me to you because in fact you can see home at heart has come because of you. So your article started off by saying home is where the heart is. So your quick words, please.
Thank you, and thank you very much for this wonderful opportunity to share the views, various views. During the entire process, I only looked at three key words like we discussed last time also. One is the whole preparation, two is collaboration, and the three is differentiate. I completely, endorse the view from Govind sir to actually go back home and understand the pain points today. For example, today, a working lady is working from home and look at her plight, look at her problems when she has to work at home professionally and also personally, taking care of the family, taking care of the professional life, and fortunately or unfortunately, there is no servant to help. Now, this is where the home is actually getting tremendous opportunity to be with the consumer and the consumer's life and now the new lifestyle. Because if you actually look at, the lady is actually struggling to do food preparation, which is most important aspect in the kitchen. Now, how do we retailers facilitate the fact, and how do we facilitate fast food preparation by providing the right kind of tools and accessories to that lady who can actually finish off all the food preparation and also cooking and serving and clean and serving and then dining together and also cleaning. The most important thing is, that lady is also struggling to prepare again and again. Therefore, she is also looking at smart, storage solution to preserve their food and then probably recook or maybe going back to the cut vegetables and also bringing back for the food preparation and stuff like that. So definitely there is a big opportunity for the retailers keeping these changes happening at home. I think as retailers we must understand this opportunity, but before that, let us understand what are the pain points, what are these critical consumer areas where we see that big opportunity, and then, like Mr. Robin said, differentiate. How do we actually differentiate our, our offering through thorough understanding of their changes and also the
Got
requirement
it.
needed?
CK got it. Thank you so much. Because I think the important part that you are talking about is primarily understanding the pain of the customer, empathizing with her, and then therefore ensuring that there are right and optimum solutions provided to that. Got that. So, I mean, in the interest of time, gentlemen, I may
Yes, sir.
go through quickly because we have, I did a time check, 45 minutes to go, and we have the entire panel eagerly waiting and all the audience waiting to eagerly listen to them. So, Majan Saab, a quick 2 minutes from you, sir, on what you think is going to happen. You talked about expected change in people's life. So, quick 2 minutes, please, sir. Is it? Yeah, you're on mute, sir. You're not able to hear. Yep. Probably as he.
Yeah, okay. I
Yeah.
think, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay, I'll just make two points.
Yes, sir.
One, I'll give you an example. People will be reluctant to go to salons for haircuts and things like that because of hygiene issues. So salons have to do what they have to do. But in the meantime, we said, okay, we make towels. So why can't we come up with a pack where we put together, towels and other equipment that is required in the salon. So each one has his own personal kit, so that when they go to the salon, or even if a servicing person comes home, they have their own kit and it's kept together, washed, put away for use second time. That is one example of what we have been able to do. And another one of example is that is we switched, or we came up very quickly with masks. Today, everybody is, demanding masks, needs masks. So we immediately started pushing that out, and we have come with that product. Those are two things that we launched when I said you got to discover a product or reposition product that you already have got in your product portfolio. Second, we have found that from 10% of our sales for online from the same period last year, it is up 33% this year. So our sales numbers in online sales have gone to 33%. And we see technology as being a big enabler to overcome the fear that customers have of stepping out or going into places where they're crowded of that nature. I think that's what I would like to say. People are covering so many points. I just wanted to add these.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much. I think I would take away 2 points. One is that you're talking of, again, understanding what the customer wants, empathizing with what they want, and therefore giving a solution for their need. One, and second is, of course, the advent of online seems to be increasing at a much faster pace than what you were actually anticipating pre-COVID. That's my understanding from whatever you're saying. Azimji, you've talked of the larger picture in terms of green and sustainability. Quick 2 words on that. What should we as the industry stakeholders do? Audio, please. Yep.
My thanks, Mahesh. My article has mainly focused on the bedroom, which I feel, I've been listening to quite a lot of webinars on wellness and books on wellness that I've been reading, and the most important thing that comes up all the time is sleep. And if we have to focus on our sleep, we really need to see that the environment is created for sleep, and it starts right from your bed. And then, of course, the rest of the things, including, blackout curtains to various things. But when you focus on the bed, what we have realized in this last 2.5 months is that when you have to do up the bed on your own, fitted sheet, which is so popular internationally, is going to definitely make its way into India, especially, when we have to set up the bed and we have to try and tuck it in. We find that a fitted sheet would definitely make a huge difference in trying to set up your bed. Whether it is antimicrobial sheets, or probably sheets that are going to use less water and dry up quickly, or anti-wrinkle, non-iron kind of bed sheet, I think is going to really be something that will be really people will look forward to. Of course, same thing applies to the bath linen as well. All these things, whether it is, quick dry or, something that is easily usable, again, antimicrobial and things like that. So I think these are the kind of things that are going to be there. On the production front, of course, the sustainability is going to play a big picture in the whole thing. And obviously, I think the kind of SMSs and the messages that I keep getting is, when are the shops opening and when can we go and buy bed sheets? Of course, right now the only option is online, but I think people are waiting for stores to open. So I think that's a bit of a good news for maybe the stores. And I have, of course, said that the first focus will be more on the mom and pop stores, which are your corner stores, rather than the large format stores where you have to travel. So I think these are the kind of things that I see as the immediate trend going forward. Over to you, Mahesh.
Thank you, Azimji. And I think I saw a small smile on both Ashish's face and Mr. Majan's face when you said a lot of online shopping is happening. So anyway, Monaji, you've talked of the world being a world in progress. That's the title of, you can look at, I think 14 is your title. So the new world is a work in progress. So quick thoughts, please. She's there. I'm seeing half the screen because of this presentation as well.
Yeah, I think there's some network issue, I guess.
Oh, it's a network issue. Fair enough. So we'll get back to her in a minute. That'll let me move on to, if you look at, yep. Sorry?
There, she's mute.
She's on mute, is it? Monaji,
yeah.
You probably unmute yourself.
Can you hear me?
Yep. Thank you so much. We thought there's a network issue. Go ahead, please.
Okay. So two takeaways from my end. And Mahesh, thanks for the introduction. One, that safety and hygiene are topmost in everyone's mind. So working from home seems to be the new normal. And there are a lot of changes that are coming about, change being the only constant. Now, speed and convenience are things people are going to be investing in, which is where our products, wall coverings, play a major role, which is where modular furniture plays a major role, which is where all products which can be selected online and maybe looked at offline and picked up play a major role. So anything that adds to convenience, speed, safety, and hygiene is the new normal. So that is all that I would like to say, that work in progress gets onto these.
Interesting. And I think you covered quite a bit of this in your article as well, Monaji. And like you rightly said, it's all about change seems to be the only constant. But I'm sure we as a world who are work in progress hopefully become faster in that work. So thanks for that view, and thanks for keeping it very brief as well. I know that there's so many thoughts that you have in your mind, and literally abstract it into 2 lines is difficult. Thank you so much. So I'm going to quickly move on, but leave you with this thought that all of whatever these 5 people told us right now is all about this word called empathy and empathizing with our customers, empathizing with our stakeholders across. So I think that's one keyword that I would like to probably summarize as we move on to the next theme, which is basically about agility and adaptability. And Manish ji is not able to join us, and Kavita ji is not able to join us, but they have spoken about being agile being the key. In fact, I read an article today, in fact, a LinkedIn post by one of our good friends from the industry, Dhaval Shah from Funitech, where they said it's all about people who are able to adapt faster now, that needs is more important than people who survive is not the fittest. It's about people who are faster in terms of adaptation. So Ashish, can I come to you? And what do you think, the way this kind of rapidly changing consumer behavior is there? You're always talking about how do I say, floating in the river, as you call it, and taking Pepperfry to the next level and trying to reach to as many customers. What are your takes on agility and adaptability, please? And what do you think is going to happen 3 years from now? I know 3 months is the window we would love to look at, but 3 years from now, what would you look at?
Mahesh, first of all, thanks for having me here, and thanks for all the effort that you're putting, on behalf of the industry. Before I get into, what is going to happen over the next 3 years, I want to quickly talk about the current scenario and, few learnings out of there. The first big change that I, see is, a lot of people are now going to focus on social distancing. And therefore, all the folks who are here, even on the panel, we have retailers and we have manufacturers and, people who are kind of running the home industry today. One big trend that I see is people would now be wary of getting, custom furniture done at their homes, right? Because, when you're buying a new house, when you are renovating, etc., you end up actually having carpenters and, other associates at your place for more than 5-6 months. I see that actually not happening for some time now. And therefore, in my mind, I'm actually very bullish about how retail is going to pan out over the next 6 to 8 months. Right? I think people will go on for ready-made furniture a lot more because they're comfortable buying products off the shelf than actually getting someone to their place and getting it done. Right? So in my mind, therefore, retail, especially ready-made retail, should do really well. The second point that I wanted to, bring about here was that, often, we talk about online businesses and offline businesses, and we tend to, classify customers as online or offline, right? And perhaps as businesses, we make that mistake because, customers are not online or offline. Someone who buys a book off Amazon also buys it at WHS or Crossword at the airport. So in my mind, it is just the channel that a customer would choose at a point in time, right? And therefore, as a business, it is our duty to be available to our customers at various touch points. Right, we built a large online business, but we also have close to 65 offline stores today. The only thinking behind that is that we should be available to our customers everywhere, online, offline, on mobile, on app, etc. Right, and I think as everyone, people who are offline or online, they improve their channels of sales, they will only stand to gain. Right, it is only incremental business that will come their way, and therefore, in my mind, this is the time to actually only think for the customer. Be available to the customer as a brand at all touch points. This is what I would propose or recommend to all the retail businesses out over there. So 2 therefore important trends. One is ready-made is going to be, in my mind, a new norm for some time at least till that time people are have some fear about COVID. And second is e-commerce. Just look at it as another channel. As e-commerce businesses, we have looked at offline as another channel, and therefore expanding channels is a no-brainer, right? Everyone should do that. The second point is around how, the behaviors would change. You have talked about, one of the comments that I put out there was how the DNA of workplaces will change. I like this, word which is called anti-fragile, which means, anti-fragile are leaders or businesses who actually perform better as they are bashed, or, as they are put under more stress. So, as we go through a lot of stress right now in our businesses, only good businesses will survive, right? So good businesses should look at this as an opportunity to expand their market share, because only anti-fragile people who are able to come out of this situation are going to call the shots going ahead. This would mean that we not only focus on the business that is core to us or the business that we do, but also seed new things, make new partnerships, look at strategic alliances, look at collaborations, etc. Maybe some pivots might be needed at some places. So, my point is, leaders at this point in time need to be more agile and adaptive. They need to be more open for collaborations and for, many other partnerships.
Extremely useful. I think first, the biggest learning is that customer does not see you as online or offline. To the customer, as long as need is served, doesn't matter which channel it is. And all business leaders need to adapt. And I love that word, anti-fragile.
Yeah.
Interesting thoughts. Thank you so much, Ashish. Mr. Pratap Jadhav, designer, and you talked about how people have to move from being interior designers to space designers. So do you think that customers are going to be now design forward in their thinking, or right now with the kind of mindset that's there, it's going to be more of function defeats form? So what are your thoughts, again, from a consumer behavior perspective? You're on mute, sir.
I always have been promoting and advocating that we are space designers, and we're not only interior designers who are pertaining to the furniture design industry. So it's the space as a whole is what is going to be more likely to be understood by everyone. And that is one of the reasons why, as Ashish rightly mentioned today, retailing is going to be more important in coming days, and people are going to be looking at functionality as well as aesthetics, but functionality is going to take a lead in terms of the space that they have, and the experience that they have had in 2.5 months. So I think look at that, and but customization for that matter, I strongly feel is not going to go away because of the spaces which are not modular in India.
Sure.
All houses have different room sizes, all bedrooms are different, all kitchen are different. So to fit in ready-made furniture which is made to a standard design pattern or a module doesn't necessarily fit, and that's why I'm saying that we are going to be space designers. So more focusing on space designing, and I appreciate Mathurji that Godrej has started promoting. I already got 4 calls from Godrej Interior that they are doing customized furniture, and I believe those kind of things are going to be, rather than doing it at home, but the furniture would certainly be customized elsewhere and to a better quality. So that's going to be a takeaway.
Okay, but you believe that the design sensibilities of customers will continue to progress, or do you think that it's going to take a small temporary?
It will progress. It will progress. It will progress because of so much of online things happening. All of our clients have been looking at things online. So their design sensitivity is certainly getting better with functionality being attached to that, as they're experiencing all these functions at home at present.
That is genuinely encouraging to hear, sir, because I think
Absolutely.
we as a country were progressing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. I think, again, a takeaway to all our audience and is that this whole word about #adapt. So I think that's what both Mr. Jadhav talked about and Ashish spoke about, and even the others who have spoken about it, Manish Parekh and Kavita Krishnan also spoke about it. Robin also touched upon that. So the next theme that we have to get to is all about how do we innovate. And I've used very positively the term innovate to thrive rather than innovate to survive, because I think, like what just now Ashish said, we have no choice but to survive, and therefore take up many measures in an adaptable and agile fashion. But how do we innovate to thrive? And of course, I had given my 2 bits. Please do look at that. I talked of how people store and in terms of the entire sensory experience of the need for touch. All of them need to come together, and therefore we have to integrate all of this in order to differentiate from the rest of, I would say, the so-called non-competition. So I'm going to ask Mr. Mathur now. Mathur Sahib, you talked about technology. I remember even in our earlier panels, you talked about how technologies would come in and they play an important role. So your thoughts to and advice to the audience who's looking at us right now.
So I think from the retail perspective, technology will play a very important role because consumers still be a little jittery about coming to the stores, especially for the next 3-4 months. And I think all the consumers are becoming very technology savvy, digitally very savvy today. Gone are the days when one would be wanting to be a little averse to digitally looking at things. So they have become quite digitally savvy, and everyone is buying things online. And so they would be the technology that would be required is to help them make the decision of how their homes will look like through AR and VR, which would make them actually understand, because from a two-dimensional to a three-dimensional will make a lot of difference. So I think what people are looking at is a three-dimensional experience. If they can get, they would be very happy to start buying online. So that's going to be an important element, as I feel. And as Pratap Jadhav was mentioning, we are using technology with this 3D in our stores called a brand called UNS, which is doing customized furniture to a great extent, where consumers using the technology are able to understand how their homes look like and how the designs can be developed and do it so that it becomes much easier for them to visualize their homes and then do the complete fabrication off-site and begin to fix it. Because Indian consumers still goes in for custom build, as he rightly said, because of the non-standard sizes of the homes. So technology will definitely play a very important role in the future.
So therefore, are you, in a sense, advocating that there's going to be both ready-made furniture and custom-made furniture are going to run as two?
I think so. Yes, I think so. Those who are able to give the customized furniture through ultimately the consumers would look at safety, health, hygiene, those parameters. As long as those parameters are being built up and the quality and is there, I'm sure that both will coexist, at least in the Indian environment.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. So, Dr. Gibson, I'm going to come to you because I think you have, you advocate education for retailers and training for retailers. Therefore, how do you think they have to queue up for the next normal? I think that's your, that's the topic of your article. How do you think employers need to look at their teams and their employees and train them and get them equipped to face customers who are evolving in terms of their behavior? Over to you.
Thank you, Mahesh. Actually, I titled my article "Queuing Up for the Next Normal Retail" because with a pun on queuing up, because on the one side, customers come with a different mindset altogether, and then on the other side, how prepared are retailers going to be to serve them well? These are the two things that I juxtaposed in my article. So the mindsets of customers are going to be such that they're going to come with a definite decision to buy. That means conversion is going to be 100%. Gone are the days when they're going to be, coming and browsing around, and they're not going to be doing that because in the social distancing thing, they're going to be queuing up there, and they're just going to be coming and buying, and they know what to buy. And if we don't serve with them with that speed, things are going to, go awry. And at least about 4 or 5 items have figured in the last survey. That a research has done. 4 or 5 items at least are on the list that comes. The items come under the home category. I mean, you've got the home electronics. You've got even household appliances in that list of items that are going to be bought. So, what I say is that the people have to work with speed. I mean, you have to be very sensitive to customer needs. I mean, they're already coming with a lot of stress. And you need to, do queue busting as much as possible, in the sense that in large retail outlets, as they're queuing up, or in large home retailers, you'll have to serve them with speed. Even online, I mean, they're going to be asking for delivery the next day. Are you prepared to do that? So those are the things that we as retailers have to gear up. Using fulfillment strategies, using service strategies. These are the things that we have to equip our people also on. And I think that's what's going to be a key differentiator, and innovative things will have to be done in order to, keep customers happy. And that's what my point is.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gibson. I think, in fact, your article is one of the most extensive articles in the entire 72, 73 page booklet. So where you sort of actually covered quite a few of it, and I invite all the attendees to actually go through that article to understand what Dr. Gibson talks about in terms of getting ready to prepare for the next normal in detailing. Nitin, that brings me to you. Though what you see on the screen is talking about innovation in products and process, I'm going to ask you about, so you represent some of the finest brands from Europe. What do you see is going to happen as far as the luxury retail market in India is concerned in terms of the consumer psyche, as well as in terms of the country of origin, Indian versus international? Your quick 2 minutes, please. Thank you.
Yeah. Hi, Mahesh. Thanks a lot, firstly, for having me here. And what a phenomenal initiative. Now, coming to luxury retail in the home space, while the entire world is very pessimistic, at least in India, about what is in store for us in the next couple of months, I am extremely optimistic, considering the fact that the brands that we represent are extremely strong brands, and the consumer per se, luxury consumer is by far the least affected consumer as such. Now, coming to innovation, you need to innovate at every stage, every side of the retail facet, be it the process innovation or sales innovation or product innovation, in order to sustain in these times. And while we feel in the short run, in the next 2 to 3 months, the ongoing projects which had already taken off in the last couple of months, these are the projects that we feel will come to the foray and with in our portfolio. But subsequently, in the next 6 to 8 months, we expect the market to kick off again, and business to be come back as usual. Now, on the innovation front, we've done a lot when it comes to the product side. One such innovation is on the VR side. So with Natuzzi, we have recently launched Your Design with Natuzzi. So a consumer can actually walk into a store, and in a matter of 20 to 30 minutes, we can actually recreate the entire space in 2D or in 3D and showcase, how his space will look, how his recliners will function. We can change different fabrics, covers, electric motion. So, this is something which really empowers the consumer to take a decision.
It's on VR you're talking about, virtual reality.
On the VR side, yes. And on the other side, with another brand that we do represent, a brand called Scavolini, we are doing exactly the same thing. So a consumer walks into our store, and modular is a very difficult category to purchase, because a lot of consumers don't have the foresight on how the product will look subsequently. So coming into a store, and we are able to recreate not only a 2D or a 3D version, but we can actually do a complete VR walkthrough of the space. And in real time, we can change products, materials, finishes. We can open drawers, etc., etc. So, these are tools to really empower the consumer and increase conversion rates. And I completely agree with Ashish. He used a very interesting term, I think, fragile, something he said.
Anti-fragile.
Anti-fragile. These are times, where the retailers who are who have really, worked really hard when it comes to, in the the survival of the fittest, essentially. So this is a period wherein, the newcomer retailers who just walked into the scene, looking at an opportunity, will perish. And so in times to come, stronger retailers will sustain. And I think that's where the opportunity lies.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Nitin. I think you actually laid foundation for what Mr. Mahesha, who's not here with us today, talked about, and he talked of prepare or perish. And I think what Mr. Mathur talked of in terms of 2D, 3D, and virtual reality, and what Dr. Gibson talked of in terms of preparation for getting ready for the customer, I think all of this is all around that one single large word, which is called innovate. I think thank you so much for your thoughts, Nitin. So that, friends,
Thanks,
brings me
Mahesh.
to the final session, final set of thoughts, and this is actually under this wonderful hashtag called thoughtful living. And of course, today I think we do not have Kirit and Ankur with us, but both of them, in fact, have given very interesting insights. Again, the book that's going to be shared with you at the end of this webinar will give you what Kirit or Ankur are talking about. But Tanay, that brings me to you. So you, in fact, talked of a silver lining.
Mahesh, Ankur is online.
Oh, I see. Oh, great. Ankur, hi, welcome. Sorry, I didn't see you on the panel right at the beginning.
Hi, Mahesh. Hi, everyone.
Hi. Oh, your beard has grown longer. So, Ankur, in fact, I started off right at the beginning saying that you had given an interesting parallel between food retail and home retailing. So, quick 2 minutes, please, on what you think or what you have touched upon in your article.
Yeah, sure. This crisis, suddenly immunity has become important for food, and everybody is starting to think about preventive and immunity and wellness to food. My argument is the same thing will apply. Same thing will apply to home, and thoughtful living will become an underlying consumer behavior when the consumer steps out to seek home solutions. The reason is simple. In this crisis, home as an entity has come under a lot of scrutiny by the consumer at various fronts and for various factors, be it space constraint, be it the way you buy things at home, the way you use home, the compulsion to now work from home to spend more time with family. So aspects of functional living, aspects of storage, aspects of color themes for home have become very important and are going to become important. Now, my argument therefore is that perhaps the consumer may not express it in the way he's thinking, and the onus therefore lies on home retailers to go back to consumer, restate and understand this shift in psyche that has happened, and then perhaps rework on products. And we talked about, all the eminent speakers have talked about these aspects of efficient living, of minimalism, of color schemes, of all these things tie up to this basic premise of consumers' psyche has shifted, and it is across income levels, and therefore the onus therefore is for us to make a fresh journey with the consumer and see why the psyche has shifted and what it means for products, and therefore bring about thoughtful products into the market. So that's the argument in that article.
Beautiful, beautifully articulated, Ankur. Thank you so much. And again, attendees, the kind of thoughts that Ankur has put in the article, I'm sure would be pretty insightful and pretty interesting in terms of a new way of looking at it. Stani, that brings me to you. So,
thanks a lot, Mahesh. So I've been hearing some wonderful insights from the panelists, and it's great to understand how the business is going to flourish now. So yeah, as I've also mentioned in my article, I've been talking about. I think usually while in a normal circumstance, we don't spend more than 8 to 10 hours at our home, and out of that, majority of the time we spend sleeping. So I don't think we, as working individuals, we actually even get the time to enjoy our house properly, which we actually spend a lot of money in making. We don't even actually sit on the sofa for as much time as we have spend the time that we have spent selecting the fabric for the sofa. So that is something that has changed now with the COVID situation. We have spent a lot of time in our houses. So for that matter, we have opened our stores 10 days ago, and we have got most of our customers are walking in to either change their mattresses or change the sofa upholstery that is there. So there's definitely going to be a huge behavioral shift on spending in the. Am I clear?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I think there's going to be a huge shift in the way people have been spending on their houses. House is going to become the key important factor now. With hygiene coming in a big way, people are going to definitely spend more time in their homes. They're going to host parties more in their houses than going out. So spending on their homes is going to definitely become much better. So we firstly have been hosting a lot of these webinars with interior designers. So this is the time where actually most of the designers informed us that their old customers called them and thanked them for giving them a house. that they could actually stay safe in. And this is one thing. Another very important thing that I see is comfort is going to become a very, very important factor. So most of the customers, as I said, have been for mattresses. They are now looking at a comfortable mattress, which they probably would not be spending so much money on. Now they want a good mattress, a good sofa, which they will be spending. Work from home is definitely going to become the next normal as corporates are shifting to work from home culture. We as retailers, I think we have to shift to collaborative working, as some of the panelists like Ashish and I think Nitin have already pointed out that collaboration is the key to success for if we have to survive in the long run. So as the corporates are spending less on rentals for their offices, we should be spending less on our rentals and be able to sell more from the retail rentals that we are giving. This is something that we should definitely look at, and this is definitely going to become the new normal. And technology, obviously, as everyone's mentioned, technology, e-commerce is going to flourish. And that doesn't mean the other things will not flourish. Business, mom and pop, offline, e-commerce, technology, everything is definitely going to flourish. But yeah, there has to be some changes. We have to innovate to survive.
I think Tani, I will probably underscore that word understand that you said. You talked of understanding that the customer wants comfort, understanding that the customer wants to change his upholstery, understanding that the customer wants to change bedding. I think it's all about understanding that or what the interior designer wants and finally converting that into a product, and at the end of it all.
I think that, yeah, this is exactly. I'm just trying to say, people have actually spending so much time in their houses, they have actually understood the value of home.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And I'm going to probably have Samir Bhai to say a few words, though he had put a gun to my head and told me that, but I'm going to ask Samir Bhai, please, I think you've talked of the future is modular. And you said that customers are going to be looking at making their homes in a very smart and functional way. Would you mind sharing a few words, please? Samir Bhai from
Hi, everyone. Hi, Mahesh. Hi, everyone. Thanks for inviting. Mahesh, I think whatever point I want to discuss is covered by Ashish and all rest of the people, right? Nothing new I have to say. So I don't want to waste time of everyone.
Just because you got your opportunity last does not mean you escape with it, Samir Bhai.
So, nothing like that. See, whatever the point, in fact, rightly said, customization is a need of the time. You cannot avoid customization. Mr. Mathur or anybody, even Mr. Ashish has told us, right?
Right.
So there is what I personally believe, there is a requirement of modular furniture as well as the customized furniture, because you cannot check out customization from the Indian DNA.
Absolutely. I think you hit it right. In fact, I think that's what I clarified when I asked Mr. Mathur and also Ashish also and Pratap Yadav also, right? So it is about they will coexist. Modern and customized furniture and ready-made furniture will coexist. Correct, Samir Bhai?
And future of modular is there are 2 points, because due to the COVID issue, there will be a problem of manpower. The migrant people are not going to come very easily. So I think people will start moving towards to modular furniture, considering the sanitation issues, and there are a lot of issues there. Now they will not allow the carpenter to come into their home for 3 months.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a point. Correct. Right. Thank you so much. Samir Bhai.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Karan, I reserved you for the last, so I'm going to ask you something very different. You have talked a lot, and I've heard you talk about home being the sunrise category in the past. But I also know that you hold the large expo that you hold every year. You're sort of taking it online and virtual. I mean, it sort of completely reinforces what all our panelists have been talking about: innovation and taking what we need to take to the customers. You've tried to understand what your buyers want. You want to throw some light on that, Karan?
Absolutely, Mahesh, and thanks for inviting us. Let me first tell you who we are. Export Promotion Council for Handicrafts organizes Indian Handicrafts and Gifts Fair, now called Delhi Fair, in its 49th edition. This is the largest craft fair in the world, and you find mentioned in the Book of Records for this. And we also own and operate Indian Exposition Mart in Greater Noida, which is one of the largest convention center in India. Now, who thought with these credentials we'll have to go online? And that's exactly what we are doing. The Delhi Fair, which was to be held in April and got cancelled due to COVID, has now been shifted in a new avatar as a virtual fair, which will start on July 13th. This will again be the largest online virtual fair in the world. We will have about 3,000 of our exporters showing about 2,600 collections.
Samir bhai, could you mute yourself, please? Thank you. Correct. Sorry.
Thank you, Samir bhai. So this is again going to be the largest virtual fair till date, with about 3,000 of our exporters showing about 2,600 collections. This is something not tried and tested. We have had our first fair, which just ended yesterday, from 1st to 3rd, which was a smaller jewelry fair, which reaffirmed our belief that the virtual fair is going to work, because we have had some very, very tremendous feedback on this small fair, and we are really looking forward to take it forward with a much larger Delhi fair in July.
The Delhi fair is for home, correct? Correct. Just to clarify.
Delhi fair covers, it's basically a home segment, and of course we cover everything right from your home decor to furniture to carpets and home textiles, everything. It's the largest crafts fair in the world, and wonderful. As I told you, it finds mention in the book of records as the largest fair.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Karan. In fact, I think again another case of what I would say, this last word. One sec. Understand. So I think understanding what the customer wants, understanding what our retail friends want, understanding what our I would say buyers want. I think all of that is sort of come together in this word. So I'm so happy that we've been able to actually group 20 different articles under 4 themes, in fact, and I'm so happy that we had all our panelists say a few words. I'm thankful to them for actually being brief. I'm sorry that we couldn't get longer time with you, but I'm not going to leave you. I'm going to ask for one word each at the end of it all. But I would probably summarize all of this into this. And this is something that came from my team. They said this seems to be the vowels of the new voyage into the new normal. And you see here the words of adapt, empathize, innovate, understand, and the right in the middle is the word called own. I think all of us need to own up what we are doing in terms of and demonstrate ownership in whatever we are doing. And all of adapting, empathizing, innovation, understanding will happen if we are able to actually own all of this. So the AEIOU, the vowels of the new voyage, seem to be what is covered in this ebook. So this ebook is going to be made available to all of you during the webinar. I think as we come closer, we have another 10 minutes to go. I'm just going to quickly go back to maybe 3 people in the entire group and take their views. So I would probably first request Mr. Shrikande to say maybe a closing statement from you, sir. And then I would request Mr. Mathur and Ashish to be ready with your words, please.
Mahesh, can you switch off the presentation, please?
Yeah, I will. No, I have a couple of slides to show.
Okay.
I'm sure people will be able to see people. No, they can't.
No, they can, but in a smaller window.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. But I have a couple of slides to show. So I would.
Great. Happy to hear the new vowels and the new definition. I think it's been a great understanding and learning as to how people are going to first listen to the customer, adapt themselves, continue to innovate. And I think both empathy, when you look at so many migrant pictures across India, the empathy word actually takes much more important shape, because it's the first time in India we are looking at not Indians, not Biharis, not Maharashtrians or not Punjabis, but migrants versus non-migrants. I think a sad state of affair, but within that sad state of affair, I think there's great hope that we've heard all across as to how home can become the most important part of your life and how you can invest in it through innovation, digital practice, as well as great empathy and understanding, along with space understanding and design as well.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Mathur sir.
Yeah, I think, in the past, we always have been saying that a house is converted into a home. And we always felt that that was the home. But it looked like we never really converted that into home. Today, when we are spending more time at home, we are realizing the value of home. We are realizing the value of furniture, which used to be more like a static pieces in our house, to becoming more inclusive now. Whether the home furniture or home decor is becoming more and more inclusive. So, like I mentioned in my article, life is changing. Life is going on, but I think what is changing is the direction of our way we are moving about. So, it's something that we must start giving importance to our homes, to our lives, to our emotions of us and our family members. And as people involved in the home decor category, I think we can really make a difference to people in their lives. And that is what should be our mission, that how can we make a difference to people in their lives, in their new way of living, when they are evolving themselves and understanding what a home is.
Right. Thank you so much, sir. So in order to make it even easier, I'm going to ask all our panelists to choose one word from these 5 vowels. 5 words. Which one would they choose? Quickly, Ashish bhai, what would you choose among A, E, I, O, U?
So I would choose empathize. I think this is the time to show empathy across the board. Other message, Mahesh, I just wanted to leave with is all the hashtags that you have identified are customer facing. I think these are exactly also the hashtags that should work for all stakeholders.
Yes.
Our employees, our partners, our merchants, because this is also the time that some of our employees are perhaps going through this kind of stress for the first time in their life, right? Perhaps we have seen more, but there are many young folks who are straight out of the college in their second year of employment. There are some new merchants, new entrepreneurs who are perhaps facing this in the first 2-3 years of their existence, and therefore for them all of these words have a lot of meaning in my mind.
Yes, thank you so much. Dr. Gibson, one word which you choose from this quickly.
I would choose innovate, because I think that helps people move forward in a faster manner. I think that's what's key now, to go and reduce the gap between what people actually would want from retailers and what we would actually,
yes,
the speed with which we need to serve. We need to innovate quite a lot as far as.
Yes, CK, one word. You're on mute.
Yeah, I would say innovate. Innovate your customer service.
Too many votes going in for innovate this time. Thanks, CK. Yeah. Azimji, your word.
I would say adapt with the new normal and the changing environment. Adapt is definitely the.
Okay. I hope somebody's keeping count. Pratapji.
Adapt and innovate. Yeah.
Adapt and innovate. You added one more to it. Okay. And Nitin.
I also agree about innovate, because these are unprecedented times, and brands and businesses really need to innovate to get through these tough times.
Yes. Thanks, Nitin. Balaji, your one word. You can't hear it. Tanay.
I think I can't do one word. We have to understand the situation and innovate and then adapt. I think that is what we all have to do.
That's a lot. That's a lot. And Ankur, your one word.
I'll go with empathize.
Empathize. Mahajan Saab. Sorry, I kept you quiet for a long time. I'm sorry. One word from you.
Mr. Mahajan has left.
Oh, he left. I'm sorry. Karan.
Adopt we already have. I would say innovate going forward.
Innovate going forward. Good. So I guess we have a lot on innovate going forward. Wonderful. Bhavesh, can I request you to now copy and paste the link of the book so that all the attendees can get a copy, and all participants and panelists and co-authors, you will be getting a copy. A personal copy will reach you very soon today before end of the day. So with that, I think what I would do is summarize and close. I believe that knowledge shared is knowledge gained. I am sure all of us would agree to that. So, and I also want to say that this is a period where, it's important for us to stay safe and stay creative. And as someone who's part of Creativity, India's first and arguably finest destination for all things home, we've tried to do as much as we can for propagating knowledge within this space. And so I also take this opportunity to invite every single person who's watching today. I'm inviting all of you to probably whenever you're in Pune, come to our home ground, come to our home, and that home is Creative City. So I would invite all of you to come over. A great opportunity that we got here, and I have to take this opportunity to thank for sure my the partners in making the entire conference, the conclave, a grand success over the last 4 sessions. Experiential Media and Bhavesh, who I keep referring to in almost every session of mine. Thank you, Bhavesh and team. My thanks also to Zebek Communications and Kiran Bhatt. They are the people, they are our agency partners who helped us to put this beautiful book together, which you'll all get very soon. My sincere thanks to every single panelist, every single co-author for taking their time amidst their busy schedules. Apologies if I may have followed up once too many times, and that's because of probably the hunger and of sharing this, and therefore at the end of it, the joy that we get of sharing it, and therefore people getting some knowledge at the end of it. My final thanks to my team, the Creativity team, whom I've been probably troubling from dawn to midnight and making this entire conclave into what it is. And ultimate thanks, of course, to the audience, to the attendees. Over 1,000 of them have attended over the last 4 sessions. Thanks to each one of you. You've been a great support to make us want to do this again and again. I take this opportunity to thank all of you on behalf of the team of Home and Home Plus Conclave and on behalf of all the panelists, authors, and industry captains. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mahesh.
Thanks, Mahesh.
Stay safe and stay
Thanks a
creative.
lot, Mahesh, for organizing.
Very well done.
Super, awesome.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Mahesh. The link is available on the chat. So anybody who wants to download and look at the book can please look at it.
Yes, please. It's available in both flipbook format as well as the PDF. People can download, and of course, the panelists will be sharing a separate copy, personal copy to you. Thank you so much, and stay safe, stay creative. Good evening.
Be safe.
Thanks. Bye.